This is the podcast, not an interview. This is a conversation. No gimmicks, just reasons. 84 reasons. Come holler at me. What up, Michael people? I am being true. This is Ladies and Soft of 84 Reasons. No games, no gimmicks, just reasons. But the reason for the day is, look, I'm gonna do my best to try to give EG the best proper intro because I thought I knew, but let me do this the right way. Former second team All SEC, first team freshman All SEC, 9 years in the NFL, recognized as the top 100 players in the history of Florida high school football, 2,047 rushing yards, 129 catches, 16 touchdowns, third in school history, and that's the University of Florida, 33 touchdowns. Good Lord, EJ, I know you had 33 of them. Third in school history. Fifth in rushing yards, 3,065. Fifth career in a 100-yard game with ninth all-time purpose yard, 3,468. Averaged 135 yards in all three bowl games. Listen, a man that never missed no curls when it came to the weight room. The father of Miles Graham, the great Earnest Graham. What's going on with you today, EG?
Man, I appreciate you, bro. That's crazy to hear that. Thank you, man.
Ain't it crazy? A lot of times when you play football, people think we walk around with our stats in our head. Man, I can't remember that stuff, man. It was great to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But you get to be a part of something, EG, man, that's I call legacy players. You got the Jacksons, you got the Pounceys, you got the Gaffneys, but now you got the Grahams. And I remember seeing you 2016 at the Pro Bowl. John Gruden up there introducing, telling one of his stories, and they saying they're giving out these awards for the best coaches. And I think he was talking about you, and then you won the award. I don't know if you're still in coaching, but the transition from playing the game to being a spectator of the game, how has it been for you, even though you did get into coaching?
It's you know what, man, it's not been easy, man. Obviously, you become wired a certain way, right? You get introduced to this game when you're 6 years old. Is when I first started, started obviously playing football, and then it carries you, for the majority of your life, and then we have to kind of, try to find a way to, to make all this, work after you're done playing. I, just obviously always, stop to thank God for guiding me through it. I have an amazing wife, and a family that, keeps me going, gives me motivation, connects me to obviously more than myself. That doesn't come without falling, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm very public, I've gone through some different things trying to transition, depression and anxiety, and, I feel like I've, been down and trying to keep a pretty clean and excited public face, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the game. So, I got into coaching, man, when I got done, that was, was awesome and rewarding. I wanted to, go out and, lead young men and coach football and give back, to the game, things that were given to me. Right. But, soon I, kind of realized that there were, a lot of things, man, that I needed to, obviously address in my own, life. My mom, passed in 2010. I obviously came from a rough upbringing, didn't have my, father around at all, in my life. He didn't, play a role at all. And, here I am trying to be, a father, be a husband, be a mentor and leader to young men. And I hadn't really addressed, a lot of the things I had going on in my own life. And, and I had to, fall, you have to fall first, right? Like you have to kind of fall and, you kind of, grow down a little bit, as they say, before you really grow up. So, it's a valuable experience, something I'm still going through, you know what I'm saying? But, it's been, I wouldn't have it any other way, man. It's, it's been a great ride. Like you said, I get to experience, both my daughter's a junior here. She's here in school at UF. My son is playing. Alicia and I, we talk to each other every day, just pinching ourselves about how we could raise two excellent human beings. You know what I mean? So it's been amazing, bro. But like I said, I always feel like it's just things higher than me that's kind of orchestrating it all. You know what I mean?
Well, first and foremost, EG, man, I appreciate your
Mm-hmm.
honesty. I think the thing about being players, vulnerability, even as men, we're not taught that. No one teaches us
No.
vulnerability. No one teaches us about this part because you didn't know that your talent would put you in the limelight in a way that you couldn't even describe. Like, look, I want to go to Florida. I didn't know what came with going to Florida because people that ask me about you, because people say, man, how was that running back room? I said, man, we had EG, Rob G, Willie G, we had, we had C4, but you were a guy that your play did all your talking. People say, man, I don't hear EG say much. I said, he don't say much. But when you put that 5 on your chest, you better have on the same colors as him, or it's not. And I said 2 things about EG. He don't talk a lot and he don't wear gloves. Men that wrap their fingers in tape, them grown men out there. Never don't put hands on you. But I will say this, EG. The thing about you is you were the silent leader that I needed as a teammate, because the only time during the off seasons, you would call it up. Like, listen, fellas, it's going to be rough out here.
Yeah.
Let's not be the weakest link. And Rob, he's standing right over there. His name was Rob Glass, and he is looking for any chink in the armor, and 100%. That's what he's going to pull against. But
100%.
the way you play, because like I said, people talk about now sharing reps. Because you were everybody, you, Rob G, I mentioned Willie, all y'all were featured backs. Whereas
we all,
Florida, how did you, because you the leader of that, how did you navigate that room with so much talent in it?
Man, I never did really, base my identity really in sports. You know what I'm saying? That was something my mom helped me with. So you try to connect with, the Robert Gillespie's, the Rand Carthons, the Willie Greens, the Seatric Faisons, everybody you mentioned, and there was a lot of other guys in the group. Terry Jackson was somebody who brought me along when he, came in, and Geno McCaslin, them dudes that was in that room. So you have to connect, man, deeper than the sport. Like I always, pride myself that, the best friends, a lot of my best friends are guys that I played with, right? Like, I played with Robert, I played with, Rand, Callette Williams, and, Terry Jackson, and all these different people. And, we all keep up, we're all friends, and, what we have for each other really transcended the game. It gave our struggles, getting up every day, what I'm saying, trying to make it in this game, trying to do better for our families, what I'm saying, it really gives it meaning, what I'm saying, and if, you have that, you don't have really, what I'm saying, much of anything. And, at the end of the day, I look around, man, I see so many, guys who have, even further, their accomplishments on the football field. You're looking at, you mentioned Robert Gillespie, you mentioned Rand Carthon, Terry, all these different guys, C4 is out coaching young men. Like the way that, we came in this game and, took it further, like that was always there, so you always try to connect, with the core of a person. And I think the core of the people that, we're in the locker room, if you have faith in that and you trust in that, you watch it blossom, right? Like, this is just, we're seeing it play out who these people are. And for me, there was like always an awareness that, we all had other things to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you just don't want to, you don't want to, we all got to go through it, but you don't want to die to that, you don't want to completely, let me put it this way, you don't want to completely die, to that football, that football player title, that football player identity. You don't want to own it so vigorously that, just becomes all who you are. And it's hard not to. It's hard not to get swept away in it, man. But, I think about the times that, we were, times of, all of us being in the dorm and, all of us finding ways to eat and finding ways to do things and going out and competing and bringing the best out of each other, because we're all competitors. We all want to be the first one to jog out on the field. But, then we found out, like, man, we all had something to contribute. And that's the beauty of it all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
When I see Miles, I said, if EG had dreads in his hair, That's how he would look. He was like, no. I said, no. Because the thing about it, man, is obviously Miles is a kid. He's a legacy kid. He been hearing about his daddy his whole. He either did one of two things. He either got sick of it or learned to just love it. Like, look, they'll say, you Ernest Graham, boy, you Ernest Graham. Yes. Like, but he looks just like you. But his demeanor, I saw him do a video talking about his, his work, his schedule during the day. He just has that Ernest Graham poise. Like, look, man, I ain't gonna get too high or too low, but on that, I'm gonna do something to you out there.
That's what I'm gonna do out there.
Yeah. Out there, I'm gonna do something to you. And to me, that's the hardest thing to say. Look, when you said your mom taught you, man, you a great football player, but you a great person. It's your job to show them both. Because if you give them one, they're gonna judge you by one. Whereas you go, look, man, on that field, I'm gonna do what I do, but I'm Ernest Graham. I'm Miles Graham. I'm a person away from, because most of us, football has given us an identity that we didn't know. We didn't even know it came with all this. I mean, I didn't know you were giving me all this, but managing a child of this like you have that has so much potential, and it's been that way for a long time. Miles could have went any way he went. Thank God he chose to go to Florida. He could have went. Florida was not the only school that wanted Miles Graham. Right. But what was that process like for you, AG? Because you went through it as a person, but it's different when that's my kid right there that's going through it.
Right. Yeah. You're saying how was it for me initially?
Yeah, how was it for you being his dad? Because it's different when it's me and I know what I want to do, but now I got to protect my son as well as help him navigate all these waters.
Yeah, you know what, man? I think the same person that you kind of talk about, like it was in the locker room. I'm not really sure, why, I'm wired the way that I'm wired, right? Like I never impressed upon my son like sports. I really didn't. He always wanted to play. He knew I played. He started out playing soccer, basketball, and and all those different things. I was hesitant to put him into youth football. But he showed a passion. He was taking care of business, obviously, in the classroom. His godfather, I think, I'm thankful for him every day. Corey McIntosh started a, youth football league, in Fort Myers, and I trusted him because I didn't trust, the structure that's out there in youth football in terms of, some examples that would be set for my son. So I trusted him. And, I was just like, son, this is, man, I want you to go help, and son, you go play for us. So he even understood the rules that he even understand the underlying reason that I was, putting him into football was one, to help his, to help his godfather, help build his league and help connect to the community, and also be an example for, other young men, about how to go about, go about this game, So first of all, just, his foundation, has always been rooted in Christ, it's always been rooted in what I think are some of the fundamental principles that you need to carry, as a human being to, to obviously be productive. And I think, I'm just, I don't know everything, but I'm thinking that's what he connected with, really early on. So like we keep, talking about this common thing of it never, really being his full identity. He played varsity football as an 8th grader. You know what I'm saying? One of the coaches there, Coach Al, like I wasn't even gonna throw him in the game, and we were playing one game, and Coach Al, somehow he got on the field. And I tell you what, first play, he shot the gap and knocked the hell out of somebody. When I'm telling you, it was like I'm gonna post it today. Like he shot the gap, knocked the hell out of somebody, and that's when I kind of knew like he was built for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he, I know we use the word dog all the time, but ain't nothing like a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying? We train dogs. Like he went out there and he showed it. You know what I'm saying? Very early on, and when it came to the process, it was, we took a similar track. I first, took him around people that I knew, would be assets to him, in college football. Michael Spurlock was at Ole Miss, which was one of his first offers. We went to see them, and Cortez Hankton, who I played with, was at Georgia, and he knew about Rob G and Cadillac Williams. Like that was just our mode. Like I was always showing him, like, man, son, these my brothers. You know what I'm saying? this is the community that I'm a part of. And I only want you really associated with something where you have an asset in the building, and you have, you can help all of us, kind of further this game and make this game better. And obviously it was here at the University of Florida. They were obviously just in transition with Coach Napier, and they came in later in the picture. But as much as I never pushed, the University of Florida, not for one, other than, the natural stuff
of course,
he went to games, and, I was always wearing orange and blue. So that stuff, I'm saying, that stuff speaks volumes, man. But for me, it was just real hands off, man. Rob G always, points out an example where, we were at camp, and, he was a freshman, and they didn't even know who he was. They didn't know he was my son. And, they took a liking to him. So, Coach Saban kind of took him down there for a personal workout. And I was there, but I was at the other end of the field with my other kids, and I ain't even watched the workout. And Rob G was all like, man, you didn't even come down there. Most parents be, hovering their child.
Rob you down and looking for you. And this what Rob did. He looked for you and he realized, wait. This EG. If it was anybody other than EG, man, go ahead, Miles, because I know your daddy. I know your daddy when you were probably just coming out the womb. Right. And he's even more himself now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I just always let him do his thing, and I gave him that room. And he's made us proud, obviously, what I'm saying, through the process, man. So everything that we obviously try to reconnect him to those principles, because like I said, you can get carried away, and he's a young man, man. Like, he's a young man. He makes mistakes. He falters. He falters. But we just always try to reconnect him to it, man. And he's been great about that. Kids carry their own personality, no matter what you say. I've coached a bunch of them. We're fortunate that Miles is coachable. He's respectful. He understands. He values his legacy. He gave me he made me value the legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to, push him to the best thing. It's like, no, man, you my daddy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You played you played for UF. You played here. You did that. That's how I'm rocking.
Y'all told the internet when Miles say he coming to Florida. Y'all told the internet up. I mean, y'all told Florida internet up. It was like, y'all sitting there. I don't know where they get these Lamborghinis from the games there.
Yeah.
They get them from, but they got them. I don't care. And y'all sitting there. You got on like the old school jacket, and he's sitting there. But think about what he told you. He said, "Wait a minute, Dad. Whoa. I'm not going to let you downplay what you started now. Don't do that. I get who you. He knows you like nobody else does. He's your son. He knows you, but he's like, look, man. The same way they talk about you, I want to talk about me like that.
Exactly right.
Yep. But I'll be remiss. Fans, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe this episode. Make sure you go to FloridaVictorious.com and type 84 reasons into the promo code. Get 20% off your first month membership. But if you can look in the back left corner, it is the EG's right, our left. I think that is the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame. That is his bus. Back there in that left corner.
Oh, man,
I was blessed enough to go in 2016. I said, that's EG. So listen, let me tell y'all what that means.
Yeah.
EG is as humble as it comes. Hell of a player. And we're going to get to that stiff arm before we get out of here. EG, I remember this. 2015, Chris Lee, Jabbar Gaffney gets inducted to the Florida Georgia Game Hall of Fame. Number one, I did not know the Florida Georgia Game Hall of Fame.
I didn't either.
I'm not that close to the game like that.
I did not know about it.
So when I saw it, I said, dang, that's nice. The next year, they reach out to me, right? And I get inducted in. Me, Chris Chandler, and I'm looking at the list, and I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, because I'm thinking that people like yourself, I'm thinking that y'all already in there, and I'm looking like, wait. Like,
I did the same exact thing.
I said, who doing the voting? Like, I said nothing to get, but who doing the voting? Oh man, it's a numbers thing. But what is that called like for Earnest Graham? You get this number. I don't know if it was a 904 number. They say this Earnest Graham. Like, yeah.
Right.
Congratulations, you've been inducted to the Florida Georgia Game. What was that like for you?
I was floored, man, because first, like you said, I didn't know about it. I'm being 100% honest. I had no idea. So I did the same thing. First of all, I was like, okay, shoot, that's awesome. You hear anything, you hear Hall of Fame. You realize the type of players, that are up for this thing, right? Like, you're talking about Florida and Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about some great, saying football players. So I did the same thing. I went to the list and went through my mind like all the guys who weren't, who hadn't got inducted and all this different stuff. And, first of all, I was just, thankful, that somebody, thought about me, thought that, I was obviously a great enough player in that game, you know what I mean, to, be inducted, to the hall, into the Hall of Fame. Because I'm telling you, man, I remember those games. I followed those games as a youngster. And, I think sometimes the perspective of players is different than the perspective of just public, public perspective. So it's like some dudes that people forget about and people don't realize was like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you go in there. When I went in, Vern Lundquist, who calls the game, he was there, and Jeremy Foley was there, and Mike Spiegler was there, and Derek Chambers was there, and it was different, EG, because it hits you in. Because when you play football so much, it ain't too you ain't seen it all, done it all, but you've done enough stuff. Okay, I can normalize. This ain't normal because you walk in and you go, dude, that's crazy. Wait a minute, what you in? And then you come in, it's that go your bus. You like, and then you got to go through a speech, and it's crazy because that's forever. You say to yourself, look, regardless of how I see myself, good, bad, that's forever. Meaning somebody else had to do that. I didn't have all I controlled was the years I was out there.
Exactly right.
Voters, your name came up. They said Earnest Graham, Joe Hayden, boom. And now it's one of them things to where Miles saying that goes something else, man. What, my daddy just got voted to the floor. It's almost like he's saying, listen, my dad was the top 100, one of the top 100 greatest players in Florida, in high school history, right? Yeah. He's on a bunch of top 10 lists at Florida, right? Now, the game that I grew up watching and wanting to be in, he's a part of the Hall of Fame of that.
Exactly right.
But I told Ryan, our producer, before I came, when I said, listen, I said, EG had a stiff arm. I said, everybody want to talk about Derrick Henry and his highlight reel stiff arm. But Derrick Henry, 6'4", 6'2", about 250. He looked like a DN playing running back.
Yeah.
I remember this. Spurrier don't ask a lot of requests. I remember Coach Spurrier saying, EG, could you not stiff arm? Like I won't stiff arm us. EG, listen, I remember playing against Kentucky at Kentucky, and I feel bad.
I remember that. Yeah, I always try to find that.
I kept saying, when are they going to stop trying to tackle him high? It's not going to. Now they ain't gonna have much, trying to tackle you low either, because your lower body was stout. But how could one have a stiff arm so deadly that Spurrier's like, could you just not? Coach, I ain't trying to mess up nobody's confidence. Love all our linebackers. For all of Andre David, Dre, Mike Nattil, Bam Hartman, all of them. Yeah. Has your stiff arm always been that deadly? Has that always been like your weapon of choice when you running the ball?
Yeah, it's always been like that. So the funny part is I'm short, right? I'm 5'9", barely. Like that thing 5'9", 0. I'm 5'9", barely. But like when you actually test my length, my arms are long, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm 6'1", 6'2", the length of my arm. So listen, ever since high school, everybody tell you in Fort Myers, ever since Pop Warner, like it's been deadly. And in the league, it wasn't any different. I wasn't fast, but I could get the edge just because I don't know what it is. I can land that thing every single time I pull it out. You know what I'm saying? I could find clips in the league where it was a problem. You know what I mean?
It's almost like, man, we used to call it. I said, listen, man, we on offense. I said, listen, he's gonna baptize you now. Listen, he's gonna in the Father, the Son, and Earnest. But the thing was, it was one of them. I mean, it was one of them when I don't know if you're looking for a certain point on. Like, listen, if I get your helmet, I don't care where you touched them. That's it. It wasn't no. It's almost like they just laid there. It's almost like I remember watching. I don't know if it was overtime or something. LaDainian Tomlinson was playing against the Redskins. He stiff arm. I want to say stiff arm Ryan Clark. And people said that's a stiff arm. I said that ain't nothing. I said listen to me. I said listen to me. I said EG had them bricklayer hands now because he don't wear no gloves. and he get all that tape around them fingers. He put the tape around his fingers. I said, listen, I said, EG, I said, man, he could come off Mike Pearson, boy, he'd come off the edge. And it's like that DB go, oh my God, come on. Listen, that quarterback gonna run with that receiver. I ain't coming up there. Linebackers, safeties, but it was an art to yours. Because listen, Rob G used his quickness, right? Rand used his speed. C4 was like a tall running back.
Yeah, C4 was
C4 was tall. You was like, listen, I'm short, right? I'm stocky, and I'm gonna play how I look. Meaning, I'm gonna be running out of the sideline because ain't nobody left. I know stiff on, they on the ground. They done.
All the way up the sideline.
It was beautiful to watch because after game, you get to talk to the other team. They say, what's up with number 5? I say, you got on the wrong jersey. What? You got on the wrong jersey, G. I don't know what to tell you. And I said, this thing. They'll say, but he won't say nothing though. Like, no, he ain't gonna say nothing to you. Listen, I said, Easy gonna have tape 2 play. He gonna tape around his waist. He gonna put the tape around his waist, right? And he gonna put the tape around his fingers, right? He gonna put that helmet on. He will wear the elbow pads, and it's gonna get ugly. And that's just how I go. But
that's it. I ain't had nothing to talk about.
EG said, EG said, I don't do that cute stuff. It don't take me long to get ready. It don't take me long. I'm not laying out my stuff like Dion. No. When I put that 5 on, it's gone. And like I said, you had the career you had. So you're talking about, McCaslin, Terry Jackson, Rob G, Rand Carter, all these running backs, and you still had the career you had, meaning you were that definition of, man, I don't need a lot of opportunities. I just need some. You give me the rock, I ain't gonna complain about what I do. You give it to me, I'm gonna go do what I do. You spent your whole career, spent your whole career in Florida. From Florida, went to Florida, spent your NFL career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, John Gruden, Ron Zook, Steve Spurrier. When you look at because a lot of times the football players, man, people think, oh, I wrote myself a letter when I was 5. We ain't do that stuff.
Well, number one thing people do, but people gonna recreate a story. Now they gonna make.
Oh my God! When I was 5, no. The greatest one is this. My mama told me I was special. Well, I'm a child. Like I hope. That's what she said. She had no pain. Yeah. I came out the womb giving the doctor a thumbs up. No. I tell people this all the time. I said, listen, you don't know what your talent is until you're surrounded by nothing but talent. When you go out there in Florida, listen, we got a WWE star out there. His real name is Thaddeus Bullock, but he goes by Titus O'Neil. Right? We got Jesse Palmer, who's going to go on to do great things on television. We got Rand Carthon, who is now the first, GM in Titans history. We got Rob G, who now coach every running back position in North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama. We got so many guys. We got so many guys that did certain things, but then to still say, how does one still get out there on the field when it's the third string in college is better than any football player that's not in college, period. So when people say they ain't that good, no, man, it's infused with talent. And then your son coming up in the ranks, and he one of them ones. Like your son ain't a player. No, he a dog. He one of them ones. Meaning they put him out there. When he said, Daddy, I'm going to Florida. He's like, you sure? Listen. Because people will think you influence him. I ain't want to influence, but he said, no, man. He said, Daddy, look, man, I done watch you on film. I done seen it. He said, I done seen that crowd too. I want that. I want that. I got that. And Miles coming in, Miles got a real apartment. I don't know what Miles. I said, Miles, I don't know where you live. That is not 95. That's
not how we came up at all. No.
But I got to touch on that though. The NIL world, because we are in it. It ain't going nowhere. Miles is a top player anywhere. Miles, y'all could have been from Iowa. Miles gonna be where he is right now. Right. How do you help him navigate it? Because that's one thing we didn't have, EG. How do you help him say, look, take full advantage of it, but don't let it take advantage of you?
Exactly right, man. We've it helps when you've done something, right? Like, I'm one of the first people in my family to go off and, even have a chance to, to make the type of money and live the type of life that I'm living. Again, that comes with, a bunch of mistakes, man. I made a bunch of mistakes financially. I went through a lot of different things. So, you've seen all the pitfalls, you've navigated. And I obviously believe God, God, kind of orchestrates that, to allow you to, to be able to teach others. So, a lot of that stuff I did, really, impart on him. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, this is when you have prosperity, everybody thinks it's like you said, right? The story of, tough beginnings and like all the different stuff. But man, like you see some of the most crazy stuff when people have prosperity, like when people finally get it. Like that's a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like I, when I was listen, man, when I was young and I was, living in the Dunbar community in Fort Myers, it was one of the best times, man. Every day we got out and we played football and we ran around and I didn't know I was poor. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't saying to myself like, boy, this is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. They're my people. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love my people. Like, that was my mama. And, I looked at her like she, you know what I'm saying? She was God. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was everything to me. So, like, I didn't have it, the vantage point. I was just really struggling that way. You know what I'm saying? But now that you get something, everybody's coming to you for something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Every
sir.
night out, you know what I'm saying? You become more consciously aware of everything that's going on. Every time you make a mistake, every time you do something when you're out in public, everything is obviously, magnified, to a greater degree. You know what I'm saying? That's where you start, you know what I'm saying? You start taking things, a certain way. You start thinking you're a little bigger than you are, and you kind of lose sight, you know what I'm saying, of just, the gifts that you've been given, the opportunity, that you've been given and how you have to, obviously stay honest and stay true to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, connect to your core self, and continue building, who you are, because people are trying to not dictate to you who you are, right? Man, it's how you spend that money, man. You know what I'm saying? You go to the strip club, you do this, you do X, Y, Z, you live like this. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody got to be, charismatic and got to have super swag and you got to play that part. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, stay the course of being open to who you are. You know what I'm saying? Put that, put that to the side. Let that, there's a process and there's all kind of things. Like let the money do what it do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Money does what it, it does what it does. And very smart people out there, and you're going to be one of them that can help you do something with that. What you're trying to do is you're trying to develop yourself. You're trying to have an understanding of who you are, a knowledge of who you are, because within that, what I'm saying, you can become the best human being that you can be. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not telling young men that, like if you're telling them other messaging, then, I got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? As you know, man, I don't like to play games. You know what I'm saying?
Of
Like,
course, I'm about to say, I said, there ain't gonna be too many people go. I mean, I know. I mean, what everybody saying now they standing on business. That's a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were standing on business before it was a hashtag, before it was a song.
I
But
appreciate
the
it.
greatest thing you do, EG, you tell the truth. You say, look, man, listen, I made a mistake. Cause see,
Mm-hmm.
people gonna mimic our success. I said, do you know how I got here? I made mistakes, and Miles Miles gets. My daddy done did it. Now the most daddies ain't gonna do it not because they ain't want to. It ain't but so many of us get to do what we did athletically. Ain't but so many slides. You like I did it. Like I did it. Listen. From way down there in Naples to Fort Myers all the way up here to Tampa, the games like you did it. But the difference is though you got staying power though, EG. You still here. See, that'd be the thing that I didn't know was, hey, when you saw EG, how did he look, man? He looked good, man. He was enjoying himself. Like, see, that's the part because people will say, hey, man, the last time I saw you, man, you was down. I was, right? Yeah, but you just saw me later that day, though. I was up that same day. I was back because I got people in my corner that's telling me, no, man, you better than that. Like, listen, you let me know the person. I'm talking to the person every time. People say, why you call him EG? Because I know him. You call him Earnest, don't you? Because you don't know him. And that's the thing too. When I saw you talking to Silk, I think it was up there in Atlanta having it because what it is EG. I got to tell you the same way my people told me. If you wanted normal, you shouldn't have chose this path. You ain't gonna never be normal. And and once again, that go your face back there.
Yep.
Now you in Jacksonville forever. So it's about saying, man, I appreciate what my athletic ability granted me.
Right.
But when they meet me, they get to meet Earnest. So when they meet me, I get to give them me. Plus, like you say, I mean, Earnest, come on now. Unless it's Shaq, ain't nobody finna say nothing to you for real.
Oh no.
They gonna say, I'm gonna say something to him. That's him right there. Yeah, I ain't gonna say it. You gonna say it online. You gonna put it in. You ain't gonna say that. And EG, you easy going as a get, but I'm proud of you for this reason, man. You don't understand how much better you made players like me just watching you. Dude, I never heard you complain. say nothing back to a coach.
I
I'm
appreciate
talking
that.
about never. Like when we saying, man, they need to get EG the ball. And they'll call another running back. You don't say nothing, man. I said EG is him. Because when you that young, man, we selfish. I want it. I want it.
100%. Yeah.
I want it. But for you, it was something in you to say, man, if I do it, it's gonna resonate with the whole running back room. So it could be a youngin in that room with me that want to do that, but he looking at me and saying, "Listen, whoa, don't say nothing. What? Don't say nothing to that." Because at the end of the day, listen, man, that dude control your playing time. That dude fight for you in that staff meeting room.
100%.
They saying, why should I give him a? And you know, another great thing you did, man. Boy, you was a hell of a running back by how you ran. I don't care if it was. I don't even know how a person can tell. Let me take the arm off and put it to the side for these practices. But dude, it's how you practice. It's how your approach to the game was. I said, dude, EG, he ain't that much older than us. EG is a grown man. He just he got a baby face. But he put that 5 on. But it ain't I'm proud of you for the fact that, man, you got staying power from football player, coach, father, mentor. And you still doing it. So when I saw y'all at the spring game, you in the midst of, y'all taking the picture, smiling, that's how I see you. I said, listen, man, unfortunately, when you are an athlete, when we show our vulnerability, it's shocking to people. Wait a minute, you got problems? Yeah. It's because, but I didn't know how to do that when I was young. When I'm young, I got to hide this, but it's killing me. The stuff I'm keeping in here is killing me, and it's gonna kill my family, my children, my employers, my opportunities. But when I let it out, listen, as my daddy said, boy, if you can let it out, you can let it go. And I believe that 100. You let it out. If you got to go somewhere and yell and scream, he say, but don't bleed on the people that didn't cut you.
Right.
Whatever cut you, go deal with that, because your wife needs the best from you. Your kids need the best, and you 100%. Need the best from you, man. So I commend you on keeping it a buck, because when we came up, no, ain't no vulnerability. You ain't do that. I ain't. Listen, they'll tell you, hey man, keep it out there. What? I don't care. You could have just got in a wreck. They want you to get out the car and walk into practice.
Get out the car, exactly. Yeah.
What happened, EG? Don't worry about it. Hey, y'all got it. I got to go to practice, because it's but I commend you, man, for just being a solid human being, man. Congrats on the Florida Georgia Game Hall of Fame. It's been too long. I'm happy they finally got it right with you.
I appreciate it.
Like I say, I get to see Earnest Graham at linebacker. When y'all watch Miles play linebacker, if EG played linebacker, it's gonna look he just got a bunch of hair waving.
He taller now.
He a little taller, but now, man, you want. I do this. I do 84 reasons, EG, because of this, man. You one of the ones, man. You one of the ones I talk about, man. When people get to talk about great, I said, listen, man. I said the greatest players don't talk a lot, man. They don't say much. You turn on that tape, they go pow, pow, play after play. I said, listen. I say, if Earnest Graham was 6'2", Lord have mercy. It's unfair at 5'9". It was unfair then.
Yeah.
Because if he's 6'2", it's all as long. So now you really out there. You in the stands somewhere, and he waving at you when you run out. But now, man, from your high school career, college career, pro career, post career, I heard a player say this. He said, listen, man, in life, man, you got 2 mountains, the one you climb and the one you got to climb. You on that second climb, man. You doing it. You what you did for Miles and what you did for your daughter, they had a solid father saying, man, that's what I'm following right there. Flaws and all. Our kids, man, they say, man, I know my daddy got flaws. I'm happy that he got them.
I'm happy that he got them. Yeah.
I got
to see him navigate them. Yep.
Yeah, but you, EG, boy. You a hell of a man, man. Like I said, I'm happy you played for us. If you would have played with Florida State, I said, I hate Earnest Graham. Or Miami or one of them other schools in Florida. Man, keep smiling. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Because like I say, the limelight goes out when we take our last breath. They're going to be watching you for life, man. Because now it's parents out there trying to, how do we navigate having a big-time player as a child? They watching Earnest.
Yeah.
They watching our Earnest do. Because like I say, we ain't going to call them out. National Signing Day came early. Comments that you made, I appreciate. Let me tell you something. I appreciate what you said, because you go, let me tell y'all something. I'm always love Florida. That's my son. I separate the two. I'm going to love Florida to the end.
100%.
That's mine right there. And I'm showing y'all right now, You ain't gonna play with him in the start. You ain't gonna play with him in the middle, because my number don't change. My address is, and I'm coming. I'm gonna say, Miles, I'll fight your battle. You don't got to say nothing.
You ain't got to do that. No.
Go out there and do what you do.
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate the most, because people are saying, "Why is that? That's his child."
Yeah. I mean, if I jump out there, you like, it's the same as what we said. Like if I say something, it take a lot for me to say something, right? Like, and one thing is like I respect the business, like we all get it, but at some point, certain things, and I'm not, go get the details, but certain things become an excuse, like, what I'm saying, be better. You know what I'm saying? like,
well, they can't lie. Well, they can't lie. Listen, they can't lie to you because you go, bro. Just because NIL just got here, but I don't. Yeah. I do this. Listen, I do this for, and I've done it. When y'all walking through these walls. Yeah, I had a little something to do with these buildings. I ain't put no money in, but because if you.
We're very much stakeholders. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Like, don't play with me. I don't play around about things like that. I especially don't play around about my child.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Communicate. You know what I'm saying? Because we've did nothing but communicate and show where we kind of stay in this process. I Coach Napier and Coach Babe, those are awesome people. But like I said, we all can. We can all lose track of.
You a grown, no, you. Grown man talk is what you talking about. You a grown man.
I get it's part of the game, charge it to the game, but that don't mean somebody ain't gonna wear it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna make you wear it in the way that I can make you wear it. You know what I'm saying? And then we can all, do this and then we can move forward. You know what I'm saying? But you use the, if on the field it's a stiff arm, in life, you get social media, you got different tools that you can use. You know what I'm saying, to to make your statements, but I'm one. I say what I say, and I go back in my hole, and I love hard. You know what I'm saying, and that gets me, that gets me in the places it gets me sometimes. But I ain't gonna never stop doing that. I ain't gonna never stop. You know what I'm saying, being a fighter and being somebody who viciously fights.
Your son watching
my
you.
Family. So long story short, that's
Miles is saying. Miles said this. I guarantee this. Miles said this. Listen, my dad don't say a lot now. But if if he come out that cage, you rattled it now. Right. If he come out, something has been done to me or my mom or my son. He don't listen. When it come to us, he a different man. He putting that tape back on his finger.
Yeah, don't play with me. No.
And to me that's the part that people don't get us. Listen, man. If I never played at Florida, I'm doing that. That's mine. Y'all got to learn how. Well, why would he? When they do it to yours, you just let them do it. But when it comes to mine, no, we don't. No. My daughter played AAU. She played, AAU basketball. She does club soccer. She does anything I let her do. But I told the coach, I said, listen, you can't say anything to her, right? Because you wouldn't say it to me. If you wouldn't say that to me, you don't get to say that to her, because she gonna tell me. Then you gotta deal with me.
You gotta come see me.
I said, I want you to coach her hard now. Don't let her last name. She is not privileged at all. She want to come with it. But if she say, Daddy, he said, got it. Right. She said, because I'm like, why would they do that? I said, sir, don't sugarcoat it for me when you gave it to her raw. Don't do it. But all I'm saying is this, man. Look, my condolences to your moms, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
But boy, she is up there in heaven pointing again. Like, boy, look, I told you. 2023, she like, see? That's my right. And listen, boy, listen, man, my grandma said, boy, you ain't poor because you ain't got no money. You poor when you ain't got no family to support you. Boy, you were
exactly right.
Money. You had plenty of it. And I'm just happy at the fact that when I go around talking, when the running back conversation come up, I said, let me tell y'all something, boy. When I was at Florida, boy, we had them boys. Listen, nothing against them championship teams. I love them super duper fast scat backs. They went to scat back. Everybody can run a 4.2. I say, but at the end of games in the Spurrier era, even in the runs the first year era, go to 4 minutes at the end of them games. I bet you gonna be first down at the first down, because EG like this. Who want it? Which one of y'all want it? Because EG, boy, keep doing what you're doing, man. Because like I
appreciate
said,
you,
man,
bro.
You a hell of an individual, man, and you just happen to be a hell of a football player. Now, most of us can't make the transition from football player to father to husband. Most of us can't do it because ain't no structure, ain't no schedule, ain't no training table, ain't no meeting room. But man, struggles and all, man, that's how we grow. Keep growing. Proud of you.
I will say this, and I want to say this, man. I know families and kids will be watching, man, and I've been in I've been in various forms of counseling for 7, 8 years now. Ever since some of the stuff been been coming up. I had to do everything from medicate myself to go. But here's my point, man. You keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? People can help you. Like I was very quiet because like I was putting it on my back. You know what I'm saying? And those skills didn't suffice in a lot of ways, later on in life. I could still be myself, but I needed to open up to people. I needed resources, the league, and, the league has been great about providing those resources. So, my point being is let somebody know, what I'm saying, talk to somebody, you know what I mean? And start taking things, one day at a time. A lot of things in life are on a multiply, right? Like you can jump on social media today and you can do what the hell you want to do and get popular. You can base yourself, you can do whatever, and people gonna pay attention to it. But at some point, you got to, good, and whether those things are good or bad that come to your life, man. You have to, you have to find a way to, to face yourself because you got people who depend on you, man. So I don't want to, leave without saying that.
He is Ernest Graham, the father of Miles Graham, second team All SEC, freshman All SEC, parade All American in high school. Spent almost 10 years in the National Football League with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on too many top 10 lists, 33 touchdowns at the University of Florida, Florida-Georgia game, Hall of Fame, getting recognized at the Coaches Convention down there in 2016 at the Pro Bowl, getting honored by John Gruden. More than that, man, even in the 100. Former teammate of mine, I'm blessed to have played with him. I'm blessed, forget that. I'm blessed to know you.
I'm blessed to know you, brother. I thank you for the day, man. You made my day, man.
Hey, listen, I'm blessed to know you. He is Ernest Graham. Let me tell y'all something. If I played running back, I want that stiff arm. My arm's longer than EG's, but I'm trying. All I remember was this. Yeah. There are players in Kentucky right now that played from 98 to 2002 that will not wish. They ain't watching the Florida team. Not on defense. Because they saying, watch it, see, watch. And they can see it coming. They saw it on tape. They said, he ain't going to do me like that. Back out. Bang out. Over. But yeah. EG, man, listen, man, I love you, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud. And I'm going to say this before I get out of here. I, too, go to counseling. Mm-hmm. I, too, utilize those services. Not because I don't need them, but because I needed professional help. Somebody to let me know, man, Ben, you all right, man. You know, because when you come up in certain communities, we stigmatize.
Yeah, we stigmatize.
We say, well, you go, but only crazy people go that. No. People that need help. So if I'm sick and I got an open wound, I go to the hospital. Yep. If my faith is struggling, I go to church. Well, if my mind is struggling, it's called counseling. It's the greatest thing for you because there are some deep-seated things you got to get up out you. Because I want my current life and I want my future life. And the only way I'm gonna have a future is if I deal with it in the present and we're gonna deal with it. And EG, you don't know how many people you gonna help understand, because if it comes from people they admire, maybe they'll go out there and do it.
Yeah, they'll go and do it. Yeah, they're going to do it.
He is Ernest Graham. I am being true. This is the latest installment of 84 Reasons. No games, no gimmicks. Just what's the reason for the day? Tape on your fingers and stiff arms. Ernest Graham, being true, and we out of here.
Appreciate you, bro.